Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hashtag Truth. Tonight, I am righteous with me. But before we get to him, I just want to tell everybody thank you for all the well wishes. I had to cancel on one person. We've got that rescheduled. So Aries will be back on the show toward the end of the month. I really am sorry about that. I went out, got overheated, had a mini heat stroke of some kind, and was down for a couple of days. But I'm back, and good as new. I am righteous. How are you doing, sir?
Okay, first off, Scott Larson, at the introduction for me, sir, my birth certificate states, and I quote, the hottest commodity in pro wrestling and the manager's manager, I am righteous.
Okay, gotcha. I forgot all that part. I apologize, sir.
But due to that being at length for the rest of the interview, I am righteous. I am Mr. Righteous. Anything but arsehole.
All right, you got it, my man. You got it. So, Mr. Righteous, how long have you been in wrestling, and how did you yourself get into wrestling?
Well, I had been a fan of pro wrestling. I discovered pro wrestling in Carrollton, Georgia. We were living not far from Atlanta, and we used to watch Georgia Championship Wrestling with Gordon Soley on Channel 17, WTBS out of Atlanta. Okay?
That's the man that got me into the wrestling business, Mr. Gordon Soley. Go ahead.
Okay, so anyway, the thing about it was my brother, he was a bigger fan than I was. Of course, he knew about it. But I'm watching wrestling, and all of a sudden, this dude in a white mask with black outlines comes on, and it's Mr. Wrestling 2. Well, okay, so he was kind of cool when I saw him, but when he threw the knee lift, I mean, this thing was like Armageddon. Okay, Armageddon. He would knee lift people out of their shoes. So from that point on, I was a fan of pro wrestling, and then I don't know, man. It was early 2000s. Tim Dixon and I, Tim had came up with a big time wrestling event that he was wanting to do in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was called the Queen City Clash. It was a benefit for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. His little girl has cystic fibrosis, Emma, and so that is a charity that is near and dear to my heart as well as his. His more so than mine because it's his daughter. But anyway, so we had went to different organizations and we'd talked to different people about getting different wrestlers to come to this show. And so from that, we had the wrestling show. And then Tim decided he was going to do the database, Carolina Independent Wrestling. And so that was your one-stop shop for everything, man. You got from all around the Carolinas, North and South Carolina. You would get wins, losses. You would get places to get in touch with schools, places to go and see wrestling, info on wrestlers. Were you looking for wrestlers, managers? It was just your all in one shop, you know. So at that point, I decided, well, dude, we need to go around and we need these events. Sorry about that. My camera is my phone's going dead there. I'll go in and out. But anyway, so I decided, you know what, dude, we need to have pictures on this website, pictures from the events that gets Carolina Independent Wrestling out and about. We were going anyway. I mean, he decided that, you know, there was a show that we were going to go to, and I went with him. And so anyway, I started taking pictures. And really, honestly and truly, the whole time when I was a teenager, I always had this idea, you know, I come up with kooky ideas. Right. Facebook plug right here. I don't know if you've seen anything from 4 Foot Batman, but I'm the guy that came up with all that. And I think they're quite funny. But
I saw the last one. I saw the last one you put on there about the dog hair and the long. I thought that was funny. I laughed at that.
Oh yeah, epic battles, man, epic battles. So anyway, I had told people that, you know, here's what I need to do. I need to be a manager because I can talk. I need to be a manager, and I wanted to have a manager. I mean, I wanted to have a wrestler by the name of Sofa Spud. It sounded cool. And my whole gimmick was gimmick would be. my whole gimmick would be a loaded television remote. And that's what I'd hit him with. I'd hit him with a TV remote. It'd be the greatest thing in Nelson history, you know?
Right.
So anyway, so while I was taking pictures, I stopped over in Forest City, North Carolina. And there, you know, I had met Ethan Case. Well, I had known Ethan. I had talked to Ethan at great lengths, and I told him, I said, dude, you know, I'm in my 40s. I don't think that it would be quite right for me to learn how to wrestle, but what about managing? And Ethan said, oh, Ivan, I think, no, Chuck. At this point, it was Chuck.
Right.
He said, Chuck, he said, I think that would be a good idea. So I went and talked to Wicked. Next show, I was there. I was learning how to bump. That was all I did. I've got the ugliest bump probably in the history of bumping. And Wicked, he said, you know what? I want him to keep that. Don't go any farther with it. I don't know how to do anything except bump. Okay. So anyway, at that point, I became part of the show. I became part of the storylines. Managed the Mayhem Mafia there. That was James Drake and Marshall Simmons. And from there, dude, I haven't looked back.
That is, man, I love that. See, that is, you're talking about Gordon Soley, man. Gordon Soley did Continental Championship Wrestling back in the day, and that's when I started watching him. And
yes.
Boy, that's what got me into doing this. That was the man right there for me. I found out a lot of things about him later on, you know, about how he was off screen and stuff like that. But that's okay. I loved what he was on screen.
So was he cheeky?
Let's get to some of these questions.
All right, let's get it.
It was. Let's see. Joey Godfrey wants to know, does Linda still have your rat tail?
I don't know, but again, I will say to you, Joey Godfrey, like I told her, when it was on the back of my head, it was a mane. See, I got it. Yeah, it's still there. So when it's on the back of my head, it is a majestic mane called the Chilava. As soon as it was cut off, she took it home. Then it became a rat tail.
There you go. Zach Zulu wants to know, do they still do the Queen City Clash?
No, they don't. Haven't done one since the event. So unfortunately, with sad news. Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. He used to do it there in Gastonia, but no, it's not done. He hadn't done it in a while.
You just gave Zach Zulu an idea. You know that, right? Jack says, what's up? Go 5-star. Zach said that day when you were talking about the database. That database was our Facebook, where Facebook became something.
No, you're talking about Carolina Independent Wrestling. And due to life getting in the way, he just didn't have time to do it, so he stopped.
Zach said that database was our Facebook before Facebook became something.
I would have to agree with him. Tim was, I would call it revolutionary in that. I mean, because there was nowhere that you could find that. There was nothing like that out there. And as far as I know, nobody has picked that up and ran with it.
Junior wants to know, are you talking or the cigarette? Because you keep flashing the cigarette in front of the camera. No, man, you keep doing
Junior,
what you do, man.
Somewhere out there, there's a roller coaster calling your name. That's all I'm saying. You better run with the fury.
You were talking, I think, about Wicked, and he said, hell of a manager, Jack did.
Yeah.
One of the best managers I've ever had. Mark Jackson said that.
Oh, Dominic Wolf, I love you, man. I love you, buddy.
So, being a manager, I had a manager on the last interview I did. I had Father Darkness on here. I'm going to ask you the same thing that I asked him, because you probably got a million of them. Tell us the craziest thing you have ever seen at a wrestling event when you were managing a wrestler. What was it didn't even have to be your wrestler. It didn't have to be the match. What was the craziest thing you ever walked into when you went out to the ring?
Well, it's not when I walked out there. It was after the event had started. Okay, so I used to manage the Steinborn brothers, Josh and Travis. Okay, and I think they were in a feud with Chris Venom, and I can't remember Chris's partner's name. I'm sorry. I feel bad, but I can't remember who his partner was. But the fight goes over into the crowd. Okay. And so I follow out into the crowd, but I'm on the other side of the gym. Granted, it was a stupid place for me to be. It was a stupid place for me to be, but I was watching it from over there. I didn't want to get involved. No. Travis Steinborn's a big boy. I don't know if you've seen him at any of the EWF events, but he's a big boy. Oh, yeah. And so I didn't want none of that. I stayed over there, and I was a spectator. And all of a sudden, guy from the stands, he comes in my face, and he says, "Hey, Ivan, you're over here by yourself. What you going to do?" I said, "What?" He said, "What you going to do?" And he put his hands in his pockets. Well, all of a sudden, from behind me, his wife pushes me. And so I bump into him, and I pushed him off of me. And I looked at him, and I said, "So you want to know what I'm going to do?" He said, "Yeah, what are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to tell you what kind of vagina you are because you had your wife to do something you couldn't do."
Oh, wow. That's crazy stuff, man. I've heard it never gets boring to listen to stories like that in wrestling, how some people can be so crazy. It never
and you know, I don't want to seem disrespectful because the building itself, the building holds a lot of memories for me. Mooresboro Gym is where that happened.
Okay. Junior said, "Don't make me put you in the corner," when you were talking about Junior.
All I got to say is, buddy, I got 4-foot Batman between me and you know he's taller than you are.
Cade Seidel said, "Who's your favorite client of all time?" Ooh, put yourself on the spot.
Well, I mean, there's different ones, and I know that this is me. This seems like it's wishy-washy, but I mean, like for nostalgic reasons, I would have to say Barbarian and Warlord, managed them in Gastonia, North Carolina. Really, I honestly and truly have to say that it would be the ones that brought me to the table because they're, you know, they should be more sentimental than anybody else, and that would be the Mayhem Mafia.
Nice.
Which, by the way, the name has carried on, and it has moved on into Ohio. And I want to say hello to you, Max Cortez, and Josh Cortez, and Felony. So got to get that out there.
Alan Price says, "'Tis but a flesh wound." There must be a story behind that.
Well, the actual story, I don't know, but the reference from the movie, Monty Python and Holy Grail, anytime that I hear that, I always laugh.
Okay. Brandon Owen says, "This man does his job so well, he's been chased with a gun."
Yeah.
You got chased out of a wrestling place with a gun?
If I'm not mistaken, he's talking about the incident that happened in the there was let's see, Carolina All-Star, no, CWS had moved from Mooresboro Gym to a horse auction barn out there in the middle of nowhere in Forest City. Yeah, man, yeah.
Isn't that awesome where you can put a wrestling ring anywhere and people will come?
Oh, look, the first night that I was there, I jumped up in the booth and I tried to auction off a couple of them heifers that were out there. Yeah, I did. Yes, I did.
Did you get any money?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so anyway, what he's talking about is there was a worker in the Carolinas at the time. Okay, I'll go ahead and say it's Crazy J. Crazy J had a notoriety of being a yarder. So I'm out there, I'm doing my job, and all of a sudden I'm jawing with Chris Venom. Chris Venom's jawing with me, and then all of a sudden Crazy J speaks up and tells me this is boring. So at that point, I told him he needed to shut up. He could possibly learn something. So He told me, he said, I'm a heck of a wrestler. I said, prove it. So then he goes on to talk about, I don't know how far he's come from where he's been or what have you. Then I said something about his lack of wrestling ability, and I'm just playing the heel, man. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You listen. Anybody who comes to the show, if you say something to me and I don't have a comeback for you, I will hit you with a third grade your face. I will.
That's what heels do.
Right. So anyway, back to the story. He tells me, he says, you want to see how good my wrestling is? You need to come to the show on August 6th. I remember August 6th because it's my brother's birthday. So okay. He says, you come to this show on August 6th and I'll show you. My response to him was, what yard's that going to be in? And so with that,
you just kept digging the hole, and he didn't even realize you were digging, right?
Yes.
Oh God.
So his buddy and him waited around outside for me to get out of there, and yeah, I think that's what they're talking. I think that's what he's talking about there. Yeah.
And they met you outside with a gun.
Listen to me. When you work a worker, you've done an awesome job.
That's some crazy stuff, man. I'm telling you, when people get that involved in a wrestling show, I mean, so involved that they get so mad at you and don't realize where they're at, and then they come after you. I've heard knives, I've heard guns, I've heard trying to run them over with cars. Crazy, dude. At that point, it's insane. It goes to sanity at that point. That is something. All right, let's see what Max Carnage. Max Carnage says the craziest thing he has seen in the ring was when he took his bullhorn out to the ring to yell at everyone, and he left it in the ring, and someone stole it?
He stole it. Yes, he stole it.
Oh, he stole it.
Yes. Yes. I can't.
So, Max.
Look, I could go upstairs and get the bullhorn, but it would take me too long to get back to you, and, unless you've got promos you want to do, I can't do it. But yeah, I got a bullhorn, and it's not like the Jimmy South bullhorn. So anybody who says, "Oh, you're like Jimmy South," no, I'm not like Jimmy South. Mine has a handle. Mine has a director's handle. You know those old style cheerleading bullhorns? That's what I use.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
But you took it out to the ring to yell at people, and Max Carnage took off with it.
Yes.
What happened when you caught up with Max Carnage?
Well, I actually got it back from him in the ring, but yeah, he did steal it from me. Okay. He did steal it from me, yeah.
Cade said, good answer on the client question. Alan Price says, I quit match when you managed Wolf. I think he's trying to remind you of something.
He is, but golly, man, I'm telling you, I'm 50 years old, and at some point, I don't take that Gonga Luka Baloba stuff. I don't. My memory is what it is, and it's always been like that. So, sorry.
The Young Tiger wants to know, what do you think of the Young Tiger?
Well, okay, look. Here's what I'm going to say to you, Young Tiger. Sir, I want to advise you to go to your mirror, and I want you to find you an inanimate object, and I want you to cut a promo on it. You got all the wrestling skill in the world, but your microphone work is a big, big part of it. So the next time I see you, and I'm going to see you soon, I think so, you better have a promo for me, because you're young, yes, but your training should also do that. Now, look, you start out. Let's take the toothbrush. No, toothpaste.
A simple toothbrush or toothpaste. Okay.
All right. I'm going to break down a promo for you. As it was told to me by Wicked, when you do a promo, you build the person up to break them down. All right. So There you are, Mr. Aim. I see you smiling at me. Oh, yes, and you are the whitest of white. And for that, I have to thank you. But, sir, you lay there on your side. You got your dents. 1, 2, 3, 4, right down the middle. Why? Because you don't express your feeling on how sad it is to you that you would be pressed in the middle and not even from the ends. So, sir, I say to you, my toothbrush awaits. Now, what you going to do? That's it.
Booyah. Simple, quick, to the point.
That's
Can't
it.
come back on that. That's it.
But for the young tiger in ring, hey, man, you got it going on. You do. Oh, look, here. My wife brought it to me. Look.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Righteous 24/7.
Righteous 24/7. And you got the atomic bomb on the other side.
Nice.
So there it is.
When was the last time you used it?
This past weekend. IWC in Fines Creek, North Carolina, or Fines Creek community right outside of Clyde, North Carolina.
Okay. Neil Lee wants to know, what is your favorite Batman movie?
My favorite Batman movie. All right, since you put it to me like that, I would have to say Michael Keaton is my favorite cinematographic Batman. He's my favorite Batman for the cinema. My favorite Batman overall is Kevin Conroy, the voice of the animated series Batman, because look, yeah, all those special effects and all that, absolutely, it's good stuff, but you don't get to watch it every week.
Right. I'm more privy. I don't know the actors' names, but I'm more privy to the 3 new ones. I loved the darkness of the new movies. The newest ones
you would be talking about Christian Bale. Christian Bale's the guy's name.
Yeah, that's him. I just love the darkness of the movies. I mean, to me, oh, there you go. That's what I'm talking about, right around the wrist.
That's my wedding band.
Batman can be played by many people and probably can be played very well by many people. The character that is hard to play in the Batman movies, and who I've only seen one good one, that is the Joker.
Oh, no. Hold on a second.
We're going to have an argument on hashtag truth. Watch this.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to argue with you. Dang right, I'm going to argue with you. You can't say he was the best because he brought a different element to it. If you want the campy version of the Joker, Jack Nicholson is the way to go. If you want the more realistic, horror-filled, really cerebral kind of Joker, absolutely, Heath Ledger's your man.
Psychedelic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always going to be Batman to me, and it was a sad day when I found out he died. Very sad day.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, let's get back to the questions. We'll get back to Batman. I'm pretty sure Batman will come up again before we're done. Junior wants to know, who would you love to manage rather in the Indies, WWE or AEW? Where would you rather love to manage? Indies, WWE, or AEW?
Well, the question I got for you is, who's putting more money in my wallet? That's the easy question. Or easy answer. It's whoever's filling my pockets, because at the end of the day and at the end of the night, how much money you've made, that's who wins the race.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is exactly the right answer. No doubt about it. Brandon Owen says, no, the night at Mooresboro Gym with me and Chris Venom and the Steinborn brothers and my grandmother got involved.
Okay. Then I thank you, Brandon. Thank you. And buddy, listen. Now I feel like a shitty friend. I really do. Because you know what? I should. Hey man,
it's our minds, man. You get
if you would have been the Blue Fury, I would have known. I would have remembered. That's all I'm saying. Blue Fury forever. Hashtag Blue Fury forever.
I am amazed at how many people I've talked to in the wrestling business and said, what was your very first gimmick? And they pop out with somebody put me in a blue suit and threw me out in the ring. What is it with this blue suit gimmick that all these promotions do that to wrestlers, man? What tell me, because I know you know the answer.
Oh, I do. They're in search of the elusive blue cyclone. That's all I got.
I mean, there are some people that probably made that probably rocked that blue suit and probably made it look good. But you know what I'm saying? Why would you put yourself through that?
It's good stuff. You want me to tell you why? Because the promoter tells them to.
Joey,
you know what? I agree with you. I agree with what he said. I agree with what he's saying there, sir. Look, the space behind you, it was homey. It was homey. You can do it, man. You can do it. If I say it and Joey Godfrey says it, you can do it.
I love both of y'all, but the boom boom room is gone. It is gone. You're going to have to put up with my checkers.
Hey, look. We know from what it was, the boom boom room, to you having your show there. We all know that's where the magic happens. That's what I'm saying right here, right now.
When I write down stuff for my when I do my calendar on on my thing, and it asks me, it says time, place, person, and where. I always put where the magic happens. I just thought that was the funniest thing ever, dude. And I put it under every one of them. But it's gone. It's not coming back if I can help it. This morning I was mad. I just didn't feel like bringing the walls out, setting them up, doing it. I just, turned off all the lights and put on my little cue light over here in the corner, and I went at it. But, for my show, I want it to look like this. I want it to look semi-professional.
All right, look.
Thank you, Joey. Thank you for coming on and doing that.
All I'm telling you is this. You know exactly what Chris Jericho would say at this time.
What was that? What would that
Break
be?
the walls down. Break the walls down.
No, it ain't happening.
Well, same to you, Boomer Payne. Same to you, sir.
He said, happy early birthday. When are you going to sell the horns? The horns?
Oh, the bull horns. Yeah, that's the suggestion everybody's got to me. I need to sell these little bull horns. But you know what?
You got to tell me what the bull horns are.
The bull horn. This. Replicas, miniature versions of this.
Oh, okay. I got you.
But I've been thinking about it. And you know what? With people with bullhorns would get as loud as I am, and I can't have that.
That's it. That's me, man. I got to be the loudest fan in the room, or I'm not happy.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest. People who go to EWF can vouch for that. If I'm not the happiest, if I'm not screaming louder than anybody else, I'm not a happy person, man. I'm just.
So no, in all seriousness, I'm looking into it. I do need to get that to sell at the gimmick table. I think that would be a very, very nice thing to add.
It would. I'd buy one. You just let me know. Brandon
Okay.
Owens says this man has CRS. I don't know what CRS is. Maybe somebody can tell me. Cassandra said, Hey.
Hey, sweetie, listen, that's my niece, man. That's my niece. Look, you got a new watcher.
Hi.
You got a new viewer.
There you go. Welcome to Hashtag Truth. Come back. Go to the Hashtag YouTube page. Subscribe. Hit the little bell for notifications. Watch your uncle and all the other wrestlers that I interview. Hey, I had to get
It'll
that in there somehow.
be like boom,
Let
baby.
me right in. Boom, baby. And then I'll even put the 5 up there for you. That's what I'm talking about. He actually left it in the ring, so when I picked it up, I yelled at him for leaving it in there. Oh, you left you left your gimmick in the ring?
You know what? I don't know why I did that. Oh, boom there.
The messenger of mayhem says,
Messenger of Mayhem.
Boom.
This is a guy that is he is ecstatic for this whole Men of Mayhem gimmick, which I started in Kings Mountain at New Millennium Championship Wrestling, which I'm going to be there Saturday. I'm going to be there Saturday, and I'm saying this, Jerry Sawyer, I'm coming for you, buddy. Okay, so anyway.
You got to explain the 5-star and the Messenger of Mayhem gimmick. You got to tell us all about how it came about.
All right, so before I started going back to Kings Mountain, Aaron Vaughn got in touch with me and said that him and Will Balderas wanted me to be their manager. And so at that point, I was picked up by 5-star. Then I went back to Kings Mountain, and that's when I was on my way there. You know, I had done the Mayhem Mafia, and I always just like the sound of mayhem because, well, it sounds like mayhem. But anyway, I said, so, you know, men of mayhem. And it just kind of, you know, it flows well. So I went to them there, and they said, yeah, you can do it. So I had to find me a Man of Mayhem, and Nathan Sawyer was who they gave me. And, well, anyway, that's a subject for another time.
Well, anyway. Okay.
So anyway, yeah, I started that there, and Alexander was there, and he was all fired up about the Men of Mayhem and so on and so forth. And he tells me that he wants to get involved in the wrestling business. So, okay, let's get you involved in the wrestling business. I need somebody to spread the word, spread my word, spread the Men of Mayhem word. And he got on board, and thus the Messenger of Mayhem was born.
There you go. I love it.
All the Mayhem guys, when they join the Men of Mayhem, I give them a T-shirt, and it's got something to do with their gimmick. Max Carnage is a Man of Mayhem. He's an honorary Man of Mayhem. I gave him a shirt when he was going through his. Well, I gave it to him afterwards, but while he was going through it, I told my wife, I said, I think that I need to get him a shirt. And she agreed with me. And so what I do is I will put Men of Mayhem logo on one side, and then on the right side, if they're workers, here's a secret. If they're workers, I always do their name on the right side. And if they are a fan, I will put the Men of Mayhem logo on the right side. But anyway, here's how it works. Anybody who is a Man of Mayhem, their gimmick goes with Mayhem. So
right.
Max Carnage is Creepy Mayhem. Goes. Works.
It flows. There you go. Yeah. And speaking of Creepy Mayhem, I love the promo that Max Carnage did the other day. I watched it. Excellent. My gosh. I was like, wow. I'm so going to that show.
Very good.
It was really good. Now, 5-star.
Yes.
Give me all the players in the game and how they came about being a part of 5-star. How you got involved in all this.
Okay. Well, again, while I'm gone, there are some added additions to it. I had found out that they had left UIW, and they had sprouted out on their own, or they had went out on their own. And basically, it's at this time, it is Will Balderas, Aaron Vaughn, Cade Seidel, Felix Feelgood, and Max Carnage, and myself. They won't tell you that. No, they'll just run off about the wrestlers and stuff. I'm part of it too.
It's kind of hard to say 5-star when there's 6 people though. That's probably why they do it.
Okay. Wait. Hold on a second. That's like saying if a hotel has three floors, then it should only be a 3-star hotel. It don't work like that, man.
No.
It don't work like that.
No. I like the way you said that. That I can't argue with that one.
So with that being said, let me ask you this: if it comes down to just two people or 3, myself included, if it comes down to just 3 people in 5-star district, then is it 2.5 stars, 3 stars? It's
You're
not.
right.
It's
I
not
can't
about.
argue with it.
It's not about
the
the
name.
quality. It's not about the quantity. It's about the quality.
There
See?
you go. There you go. There you go. All right. I stand corrected. We're not going to give up the Batman thing. I see. Bruce Wayne is hard to portray. Any good stuntman can play Batman. I don't know about all that, but
no.
Do you still have the skunk smell on you? Jack wants to know. I'm not even going to let you answer Batman because we'll be here all day.
Okay. Look. Okay. All I'm going to say about that last comment is this: could a stuntman have pulled off? What are you? I'm Batman. No, he couldn't. He could not. Anyway, back to this particular question, sir. Oh, I don't know. It was probably 2 shows back. We were coming from Fines Creek, North Carolina, I believe. We are 50 miles away from home, and Mr. Jack there hits a skunk. And boy, when he hits a skunk, he hits a skunk. I mean, he hit a skunk.
Oh, them things stink, man. Oh, my goodness.
The smell got inside the car. My clothes were covered. Yeah.
Did you go home and take a tomato? Did you go home and take a tomato juice bath?
No. What I did was I washed them. I simply washed them and put some my wife uses these little pellet deals that she pours into the
my wife does too. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But I think it was just because it came out just because we didn't get hit directly. But buddy, I opened my gimmick bag and woo! Not my gimmick bag. Excuse me. I carry a tote that's got all my clothes in it. I've been thinking about putting each individual style of shirt in a box so I can have like a mall, like George South does. I strive to be like George South.
So you can have a different thing to wear every day of the week and different gimmick every day of the week.
Which, by the way, I do. All of these styles that we put together. This is actually my wife's work, and I put it on the t-shirts. But yeah, we do t-shirts.
Roll a D20. That's a Dungeons and Dragons reference. I don't know why Boomer would say that. What, do you play Dungeons and Dragons?
I did when I was a kid. Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? It hadn't been that long.
I played up until I was about 30 years old. I ain't gonna lie to nobody. I played Dungeons and Dragons all the way until I was about 30.
Well, now hold on a second. Tim Dixon still comes back to the house here, and we play whenever we can get the time. But yes,
dude, invite me one day. I will come.
Roll that D20, see what happens, son.
That's it. Hey, invite me. I play a great thief, man. I can't do it in real life to save my life, but I can do it on a Dungeons and Dragons board now.
Well, you know why? You know why you can't do it in real life?
I don't know. I guess I'm just
because you don't have the stockings of silent plus 20. That's why you can't do it.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. We're gonna have people leaving going, these guys are crazy and never coming back to my show. But that's okay. It's all right. We know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we know what we're talking about. Roll a D20. Boom, boom.
Roll an intelligence check, people, to find out if you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Roll that D20. Oh, you rolled a 1. So sorry. Oh, your ears are bleeding.
My wife just showed me some homemade brownies and ice cream with chocolate syrup on. Just flashed it in front of me and walked away. How wrong is that, people? I'm a 450-pound fat man, and she just flashed that in front of me and walked off like, you're doing a show and you can't have this. And she said it was really good. Get away from me.
Look, I can come up with some crazy stuff. Now, look, if you need time to go and get you one of those brownies, here's what I'll do, sir. Anybody that follows me on Facebook knows that I love my refrigerator. I have one of those Samsung refrigerators that's got the screen on it, and you get online with it and stuff like that. Dude, I did a 30-minute walkthrough on my freaking refrigerator. 30 minutes.
Now that's awesome right there.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. If I had a computer screen on my refrigerator, I'd never leave my refrigerator.
Well, we got it as a housewarming. We got it as a housewarming present from Laura's grandpa. And since we moved into the TARDIS on Otisburg, that's what we call the house. My wife is a huge Doctor Who fan, and the TARDIS is the I don't know if you know anything about Doctor Who or not, but for those that do, they know what it is.
He travels in a phone booth. That's about it.
Okay, the phone booth is called the TARDIS, and the ongoing thing is when people come into the TARDIS, well, it's bigger on the inside. So we call it the TARDIS in honor of my wife. And for me, for the DC comic fan that I am, I call it Otisburg, the ground around it, because of the Superman the movie where Ned Beatty is doing Otisburg, and Lex Luthor says, Otisburg, it's just a little piece of lead, Mr. Luthor. Otisburg.
Okay. Wow. I couldn't come to your house because I'd never leave, man. I'd never leave. You like Dungeons and Dragons. You like wrestling. You like to eat. Oh my God, I'd never leave. I'd never leave.
Oh wait! Look! I'm gonna put this over.
And you
here
like Batman? I forgot about that too. You like Batman too. So my favorite superhero. So I'd probably never leave your house if I ever came over to visit.
Look! I'm gonna put this over. Gavin, my son, got this for me as an early birthday present.
Oh, I saw the picture of that. That's Cronin's axe.
Yes, Kratos' axe. Yes.
Kratos. I'm sorry, Kratos. Duh.
Come on, man.
I'm acting like I'm a PS4 junkie and I'm getting the names wrong. Hey,
get it right, dude.
Dew, man. Too much Mountain Dew.
All right.
It's all good. All right, let's go on with these. Mark Jackson said the damn blue men, probably when we were talking about the blue costumes. Junior said this ain't a racing show, Scott. It's a wrestling show. Now, the checkers behind me, checkered flag. Yeah. Laura said no one is louder than you. I don't know if she was talking to you or me, but hey, I'll take it as a compliment either way.
Okay. Thank you, honey. Thank you, honey, for chiming in. And yeah, she was talking to me.
Is that the wife?
That is the wife. Yes, that's the love of my life.
Hello, Miss I Am Righteous. Keep him straight. Keep him straight.
And we call her the lovely Laura, aka Dragon Mama, and you have to go back to the Ninja Troll to find out about that.
Dragon Mama, I like it already. Okay. Mark Jackson says can't remember crap. Okay, that's what CRS.
Yeah, he's got me. You got me dead
all
right.
day long, man.
But
yeah, that's me all day long. I couldn't tell you the number of times I walk into another room and I forget why I even went in there. Joshua says you can tell when Scott Larson is around. At a wrestling show, yes, sir. Loud and proud and ready to go. That's it. Junior says, I have a match for you, Scott. Scott versus Jack in a screaming match. Ooh. I'm game. I'm game. Cassandra says, I need one of your bullhorns. See, you got buyers already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Buyers already. Uh-oh. Alex says, I need a Messenger of Mayhem shirt.
All right, buddy. We're going to work on it.
Wolf wants to be a man of mayhem. Just throwing that out there.
I would love for you to be a man of mayhem.
Alex says, I am righteous is money. That I agree with. Wholeheartedly, 100%. Junior says, the Four Horsemen and JJ and Baby Doll, but still called Four Horsemen.
Oh, I know what he's talking about. The argument that I was giving you when I said it's got 3 floors, can't be 5-star, that's the same thing.
Okay, yeah. I got you. I see what it says. we're going back to the skunk here. That smell was in my car for a couple of days. I tried not to hit no more skunk. I wouldn't want to hit any more skunks either, man. Oh my gosh. We drive up 221 to go to wrestling shows on the weekends, and man, we pass by skunks that are already dead on the side of the road, and oh, it takes your breath away. So I can imagine.
Well, I just want you to know
one.
I just want you to know the smell was so bad that night that 4-foot Batman went and slept in the bathroom. Just saying.
What is your favorite Brian Thrill moment?
Oh my God. Oh, wow.
It must be good if you're laughing.
All right, so I'm gonna have to spill it. Brian was staying with us. He would come and spend the night with us on the weekends back when me and Laura lived in the apartment across town. Okay. So me and her wanted to go and play adult games. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So he's there on the couch. We tell him, Brian, hook yourself up with Netflix. We're going to step out for a little bit. Okay. So we step into the bedroom. Adult games happen. I come out. We finish. I come out. Brian Thrill is laid in a fetal position with his face towards the back of the couch. I said, Brian, are you okay? He said, no. I said, what's wrong? He said, Netflix went out. I said, Netflix went out. He said, yes, Netflix went out. I said, when did it go out? He said, about 5 minutes after you went in there. I heard the whole damn thing.
Wow.
Oh.
That's bad, man. That is bad.
Oh.
What is your favorite?
To the contrary, sir, it was good.
Yeah, I bet it was. What is your favorite 4-foot Batman moment?
Oh my gosh. Well, 4-foot Batman, he's got heat with Laura right now.
Uh-oh.
And this is serious. This is serious, Scott Larson. I'm telling you, this is serious. Okay.
What did 4-foot
He's got
Batman
heat with Laura
into?
because I asked because I thought that it would be a good opportunity to take 4-foot Batman on with us on vacation, so he could be reflecting as he stood out at the water, and I could catch a picture of that. Okay.
That was your first mistake.
I asked Laura if 4-foot Batman can go. She said no, he's too big. Well, he heard that. And now the heat's on. So that's probably one of my favorite moments. The other one would be, I took a picture of his knees. And I put in there, I said, his knees don't bend. So I get a picture of that. And I put up there, I asked 4-foot Batman why his knees don't bend. He said, and I quote, 4-foot Batman kneels for no man. So
there you go. Okay, and to round it all off, what is your favorite righteous moment?
My favorite righteous moment. Well, there is a series of moments that happened at UIW. There was an old man that sat on the front row. He would cuss like a sailor, and he looked like Santa Claus. So since he looked like Santa Claus and he was talking evil, I started calling him Krampus. Like the anti-Santa Claus.
Right.
But then, not long ago, Fines Creek. I wear a kilt when I go to the ring. Okay, I have been accused of doing this to mark out for Roddy Piper. I've been accused of doing this. I do it, folks, in hopes that there's a draft that happens while the show is on because it's always hot in those freaking auditoriums. So anyway,
and you're a true Scotsman, right?
Yes. Come in on my dad's side, on my dad's mom's side. So anyway,
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying because a true Scotsman doesn't wear anything under the kilt.
Oh no.
Oh, that changed your demeanor really fast. Oh yeah. No.
I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it corralled. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it corralled.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Okay. So you tape it up there.
Yeah. Oh my God! I love that. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna give me some of that black stuff that you've been seeing going around online that people's putting on their face and peeling off. That's what I'm gonna use. That's righteous, son. That's righteous. Anyway, so this old man, he keeps on me about this skirt. And so finally I'd had enough when he said to me, "Nice skirt, Shirley." Well, I took the bullhorn. Now the bullhorn is big enough to engulf somebody's face.
Oh yes, I can see that.
And I bury his face into it, and I yell at the top of my lungs, "It's a kilt!" Yeah.
Did he poop presents?
Well, he grabbed a hold of it. He grabbed a hold of it and tried to take it from me, but no, I wasn't letting it go.
Wesley Ledford said, "Who?" I don't know who he's talking to. He might be saying that to you. I don't know.
I don't know.
Mark Jackson said, "Damn, I miss Brian Thrill."
I saw him not long ago. He came over and spent some time with us, and him and my son Gavin have the same birthday, so he always comes over and sees him like close to their birthday. So yeah, I saw him not long ago, man. He's doing good.
Scott, you still trying to come to New Millennium Championship Wrestling this Saturday? I am going to try. I'm not making any promises. With my health being the way it is, I'm trying to kind of chill out. But I told you I would try, Alex, and I really meant it. Arthur, who I'm going to have on the show pretty soon, said Bodacious. Is there
Absolutely.
a story behind Bodacious?
Oh yeah. See, Arthur there, he used to ride bulls, and I asked him one time who he would like to draw. Would he rather draw Bodacious, or would he rather draw Bushwhacker? And that's always his answer, Bodacious. Yeah.
Bodacious.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have Bodacious too. That story is now known as the Adult Games.
Very good. You know what it might be called for me, don't you? Sleeping on the couch.
Hey, I got to tell you something that's just as funny. For years, me and my wife would do something like that, and my 11-year-old in there who loves wrestling also, when she was little, old enough to walk and talk and understand what was going on between, 5, 7 or something, and she'd, hear something in the bedroom. We always told her we were wrestling. So a couple of days ago, we were, doing some things in the house, and we were talking about, her sleeping with us one night just to get some things done in her bedroom back there. And she's like, "Oh no, Daddy, I'm too old. Wrestling don't work with me anymore."
Oh yeah.
Just kind of shut it down, brother. I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding. You remember that?" And she's like, "Yeah, Daddy, that's all you ever said was we were wrestling." Is there still a spot for me in the Mayhem? I thought you were the messenger.
He is the messenger. Dude, quit being insecure about that. Goodness. And don't worry about it. You are in the Man Mayhem.
You even came on hashtag Truth as the messenger of Mayhem. Go on my YouTube page. You are the messenger of Mayhem. Dude, you have the spot.
Okay, so hold on a second. Before you go any farther with your questions, I do want to address the one before that.
Okay, wait a minute. I got to say this one first. Junior said, "I hear righteous ain't too righteous under the kilt." Then we'll go on.
Okay. Somewhere out there, sir, your chain that pulls your car to the top of your mental roller coaster has gotten stuck and it's not moving.
Uh-oh.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. So look. Back to the one where Cassandra said, my favorite righteous moment is not. I mean, it is a good one. It is a good one. But I will have to tell you the story because it's a good story. All right.
Okay, the Flashwater story.
Yes, the Flashwater story. Do I have time?
Oh, you got all night, man. I'm enjoying myself.
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
All right. So anyway, look, my mom is not a fan of pro wrestling. Okay. She is not a fan of anything that I watch. If I watch something and she doesn't agree with it, it's warped. If it's not reality TV or CSI or JAG or anything like that, it's warped. So she was dating this guy at the time, and he was supposed to be selling T-shirts for me, but he took the money anyway. That's beside the point. I digress.
Just throwing that little point out there.
My mom comes to the wrestling show with him, and she is back there at my table, and I start jawing at her. Hey, you need to sell my T-shirts. You need to sell my T-shirts. So I went on about my business, and she told me, she said, I'll get you. I will get you. I said, okay. So months go by. Me and this guy's been out selling shirts and so on and so forth, and it comes time to go back to Mooresburg Gym where the incident happened before. And okay. So at this point, I start talking to her. I wished I'd never talked to her. I wished I would never talk to her because it was like she lowered the boom, man. All right. So anyway, I jaw at her and I said, Mama, you need to pay attention up here. You need to sit down, shut up, and pay attention up here because some stuff's going to go on. Well, I turn the corner, and then all of a sudden, I feel my backside being warmed. Boom, boom. And I look down, man. I look down, and my mama's brought a fly swat to the show, and she is giving me the business. She is giving me the business.
She's spanking your butt in the middle of a show.
Yes, in the middle of a show. Next time you talk to Josh Steinborn, ask him about it. Okay, I asked him one time, I said, dude, where was security? He said, I told him to stay still. It was funny. So anyway, dude, now look, hold on a second.
To the bathroom, I'm laughing so hard. Oh my gosh.
All right, so look, I look down at this fly swatter my mama's got. Now this, I call this the one-handed weapon of mass destruction, okay? Because this thing, it's not those two wires intertwined with each other. No, sir. This is a rod. This is a rod. And the thing don't give. It don't have no flex on it. So there she is. I mean, dude, she was putting an old-fashioned ass whooping on me.
She's beating you with a metal rod with a little piece of something at the end of it that they call the fly swatter.
Yeah, look, when she hits flies with this thing, it either says poof or disintegrates. That's either or. Yeah.
And I bet you ain't got a hair on your back now, do you? Because she just made them all.
Well, they grew back. Plus, I will tell you that in my day, I have received my shares of whoopings because my mama's from the mountains of North Carolina, and a firm belief up there is spare the rod, spoil the child. Well, I was not spared. Okay, none of us was.
Hey, I grew up with the parents, probably the same as you. The nearest thing they could pick up, brother. The nearest thing they could pick up. And if my mama didn't have nothing to pick up, the dreaded shoe come flying your way, brother. And she was spot on accurate with that thing. 50 yards or nearer, spot on accurate, dude. Elway had nothing on my mom with a shoe.
So check this out, man. When we were growing up, Mom had like a 1970-something Dodge station wagon. And the reason I say that is because it was very, very long, okay?
Very long.
Now,
the old
you had the seats. You had the seats behind, and then you had the little compartment there, and then you could pick the back up. Well, I always like to pick the back up because, well, I thought that I was safe there first time that I did it. Because it was my job. My job was to be the cut up. Yes. In my family, I am the cut up. So anyway, I would get the back of this thing thinking that Mama couldn't get me back there, and I'd cut up. I was wrong.
You thought you found a safe place. Oh, I'm telling you, mothers are dreadful, man. They know the boomerang action. They know all of it. They know how to bounce it off of walls. It was like that God had given them a sixth sense to do that, man. Oh, you were going to get hit. If they threw something, you were going to get hit with it.
Look, the worst wrath that I've ever faced from my mom, not out of anger. She never whooped us when she was angry. She'd tell you, I'd never whooped him when I was mad. I'd have killed him. That's quote unquote. But anyway, we're going along, man, and we're driving, and I'm cutting up, and Mom looks in the rearview mirror. She always talked to the rearview mirror. And she said, "You don't want me back there." Well, you're right. Who'd be driving? That was my response.
Right.
So yeah.
We always thought things like that, man. Oh, get Mama to drive, so that way if she gets mad, all she can do is yell. She can't. Man, the hand of doom would come back, and you'd be shocked at how far that hand could. I mean, I'm thinking like you know, I'm in the back of this, big car. I'm way back here. I'm like halfway up into the window. I'm like, yeah I'm safe. Oh no. That hand reached all the way back, brother. It would jerk. It found this right here, and it was on.
Oh yeah,
it was on. Yeah. Those were some good times. Kids nowadays don't know those times, man. I hate to say it, kids nowadays, because now you just barely touch your kid and they scream, to the cops, and you get taken away for child abuse. And if your neighbor sees you spank your kids, man, I couldn't tell you the number of times my mama chased me down the road with a belt or anything else, man. And if Mama didn't catch me, the neighbors would catch me and spank me right back to my mama, and my mama would spank me right back into the house. I mean, that's just the way it was back then. Right. Nowadays, they even see you raise a hand toward a child and 6 neighbors call the cops on you for child abuse. It's just horrible. I don't know how we got off the track of wrestling, but I'm having too much fun, man.
That's great, man. It's great.
Too much fun. But man, I tell you, and and I'm going to bring this up. We talked about it a few minutes before the show, and I'm going to bring it up today. And I'm going to bring it up now. We're going to bring it back to wrestling, man. There are too many whiny babies in the sport of indie professional wrestling these days. Yes. I'm just going to say it as a fan, and I did a rant about it earlier. Man, if you go to a show and a heel says something to you, it's part of the show. I don't care what comes out of their mouth. It's part of the show. I don't care what words they use. They call me a white hick, honky, this, that, the other. It's part of the show. It's wrestling. Okay?
Yeah.
It just drives me nuts, man. And all the negativity that's going on in professional wrestling today, in the indies, and I said all that stuff in my show this morning, and the only one that kind of irritated me of all the reactions was somebody came back and said, well, I can't does that mean I can't voice an opinion? No, that's not what I'm saying. An opinion is this person's better than another person. This wrestler's better than another wrestler. An organization's better than this organization. That's fine. Even I do it. But don't come on Facebook and go, this guy's trash, that guy's trash, this organization's trash. This, you're talking about an organization that's been running for 30 years, so they can't be all that bad. You know what I'm saying? It just drives me nuts that we can't. It just drives me nuts that we can't all just rise up together. What do you have to say about that?
Oh, well, I mean, dude, look, it's across the board. I mean, negativity is across the board. It comes from promotions. If there's a promotion, a new promotion in town, a promotion that feels like they own the town, goes and tears posters down, gets bad word about it, say that it's quote unquote a shit show. You have the negativity on Facebook. There's been people who have given you negativity with saying you these guys that you are interviewing, they don't deserve it. They're not worth it. Why would you want to spend this much time on this person when nobody cares. Nobody cares. Well, the problem there lies in the fact of the ego comes into play. Okay.
Right.
Your show is a stepping stone to these guys that are trying to work their way up to the WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, whatever your goal is.
Or even just their next step in Indies wrestling. I mean, there's people that's come on my show that have been green, that have only wrestled, 3, 4, maybe a handful of times since they started. But that's what my show is about, to get their names out there, to get people to know who they are, where they're going to be, so people can come out and see these guys, man. I mean, if we're not going to bring each other up, why are we even doing this? That's my question.
Well, okay. If you are a fan and you were going to shows, just what the gentleman said, it is going to happen. I've been to shows where I've heard guys say to somebody in a wheelchair, that was jawing at them. They were freely jawing at the person. Now you can go away, or you cannot be stuck with an answer in this business. When you are inside that barricade, you are larger than life. So therefore, to put it in a sci-fi mythological fantasy way, when the people outside of the barricade in our persona are mortals. You are, and so you have people who side with those people. And they're your buddies. They are the people who say, hey, I'm glad you came out to the show. But when the match is going on, back to the person in the wheelchair, if that person says something and the other person responds with, oh, yeah, well, why don't you get out of that chair and come over here and say it to me? It's heat. It's heat.
Right. Hey, Cripple, get up and come over here.
I'm sorry that Mama is in a wheelchair. I'm sorry that Daddy is in a wheelchair. But
who fell out of their wheelchair behind you? Somebody's making noise. I see what you're saying, though. All right. Father Darkness says you rule. Just had to throw that in there.
Oh, thank you, Darkness. I was nice that time. I didn't call you Darkness. Back when we were opposing each other, I called him Father Darkness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand perfectly what you're saying, man. If you come to a show, you got to realize it's a show, and they're going to use what you bring. I mean, I'm a fat guy. Do you know how many times heels have looked at me and said, go sit down, fat boy, go grab a hamburger, fat boy, go, my teeth aren't perfect. They make fun of my teeth. I expect it, and I think it's hilarious because I'm going to give it right back to them. That's what.
Hey, look, my thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
My thing is this. I've got a go-to line. Now, again, I am not beyond saying to somebody, if they say something that ends provocatively, I'll say to them, that's what she said.
Right?
If they say something to me that I don't have a comeback for, I always follow with like your face. For the bigger people in front of me. Hey, buddy, did you pay for those 3 tickets? Did you pay for those 3 seats? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's my job. It is my job.
Dylan Galloway says, best in the business. And Jamie Knight said it's about the fan when I go to wrestling, and that's true. That is what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Man. But you got so many sensitive people in my day and age that, if you go up there as a heel, you gotta. And I'm not going to say you have to actually watch what you say, but people are going to complain about every little thing. If it's a ball where they think wrestling should be, they're going to complain about it. And I got so mad this morning, I just said, hey, if you don't like it, take your ball, go home. We don't need you.
Yeah.
I'd rather sit by a fan who's going to, oh, yes, ha, 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 he called you 450 pounds. Ha, 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 he made fun of your teeth. I would rather sit by a fan that does that than one that would sit there after they talk about them and the rest of the show they're doing this. They're sitting on their hands and they're thinking about what they're going to put on Facebook as soon as this show's over. Why come to a wrestling show? Why even come? Because I'm going to be the one that's yay or boo if it's a bad guy or what have you. That I expect it. I mean, if you're ever coming, if you're bringing somebody to a wrestling show, and this is my advice to these people, if you have somebody like your grandparents or something like that, or cousins or brothers or nephews or whatever, and they've never been to a wrestling show ever in their lives, prepare them before they go. Say, hey, the bad guys are going to talk like this. Don't get offended. If you get up there and say something, they're probably going to say something right back. Because at an indie show, you know, if you're a good heel, you're going to pick out people and yap back and forth with them for a few minutes.
Oh, man.
That's what people
easy eat. It's easy eat.
Right? And there's some people that come to shows just for that.
Yes. Yes. I mean, look, if I know where to go, if there's somebody, okay, prime example. When I worked for SWA, when I worked for Josh Steinborn, and I worked for UIW for a little while, Linda Lovelace was there. Okay. Right. And so I knew where she was at. I could go there and I could get her riled up, and we would get nose to nose, man. We would get nose to nose. But what you also understand, the psychology is chaos. Chaos breeds. I mean, it spreads like a cancer. As soon as she gets on me and I'm on her, then the fans get behind that, and that's where the heat, you know, that's where the negativity comes in, because it's like it feeds on it, it consumes it. So if you are working a show that you know somebody's going to be there that you can get riled up, and you go to that person 9 times out of 10 before it's over with, if you keep up and you keep at it, then that crowd will be ready to just eat you alive. And that's good. That's good.
Let me give an example of that. For all the wrestlers out there who watch AEW, who's been watching their promotions, MJF is probably the best heel in professional wrestling right now. I mean, hands down, he is the next. I would say he's the next Ric Flair, and that's speaking highly of a guy who's only been in the business, you know, up there in the big time for a few years. But he gets up there and he knows exactly what to say, and he gets the crowd mad. I mean, instantaneous heat, because he knows how to be a bad guy. He knows how to get under people's skin. It's just some people have it, some people don't. He has it.
Right.
And if you go to an AEW show and he offends you, go home, because he is awesome. He is totally awesome. You're taking a trip. Where are you taking us, man?
Oh, I'm coming upstairs. Here, I'll show you this refrigerator while I'm up here. I've got to get my cord. My phone is running out of juice, so I've got to get my cord and I've got to get set up. But
for about 1 hour and 13 minutes, brother. So if you can hold it off for about 2 more minutes, man. Are you going to be wrestling in the near future? Are you going to be anywhere as I Am Righteous?
Yeah, I'm going to be in Kings Mountain tomorrow night.
Okay.
Doors open at 6 o'clock. Bell time 7. I'm going to be there, and I'm going back to take care of some stuff about the Men of Mayhem.
Okay.
I tell you what, for the rest of them, I don't have my calendar in front of me, and yes, remember the thing that was said about can't remember shit? Yeah, that's where I'm at.
B, put it up on your Facebook page, man, and I'll be sure to get it out there, because I want everybody to know where you're going and what you're doing, because, man, this has been a blast interview, brother. Let me tell you, I've enjoyed every minute of this.
Well, I appreciate you having me on the show. You know, this was my first interview that I've had, but yeah, I definitely want to come back and talk with you some more, sir.
Well, let me before we leave, before I check out and everything and do my little spill that I do at the end of my show. A lot of people might not know this, because I didn't know it. you used to be a podcaster yourself. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Like I said, I came into the podcast world. I didn't have a job. And so I wanted to do a morning show because by trade, my schooling, I am a broadcaster. And so I felt like, broadcasting is kind of like wrestling. If you don't do it, then you get a bug, So anyway,
right.
I told my wife that I wanted to do a podcast, kind of like a morning show. That's where the Ninja Troll DigiCast came along, and I was telling all of my wrestling family and friends about it, and nobody listened to it. I mean, well, Bryce Anthony listened to it. There was a few people in the wrestling world that listened to it, but everybody asked the same question, and that was, well, does it pertain to wrestling? Well, no. We want to do a morning show. Well, if you would do wrestling, then I would listen. Okay, well, I got the CIW report going. And that, let me address this right quick before we leave. On that, I want to address the workers. Guys, come on. You got Scott Larson on here, and Scott's doing a really, really good job, but Scott would be doing a better job if you guys would be promoting him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he has somebody on your show that or it doesn't matter if he has your mom, your sister, your dog, whatever. Guys, this is for you. This is not for Scott. Scott's doing this as a labor of love.
Yep.
And you should be committed
money into
for this,
and I'm not getting any money back. I'm just being honest, straight up. I've said this before. I'm doing this because I love the sport of independent wrestling, and I want to get everybody. I want all of us to grow together, and that's what made me start this show. Is I started going to EWF. I'm not gonna lie, that's my home. But I've seen all. I've been to other wrestling promotions. I've been to other shows. Not many, but I've been to some. And I just love what you guys do, and I want to be able to one day. This is where my payment would come in the end, when somebody like JD Drake, who just wrestled in EWF at Evolve, if I were to interview him before he did that, that would be my payback. Look, somebody I interviewed made it to the big time. How awesome is that? That's my payback. That's how you guys pay me back.
Right here, I'm going to do you a favor right here, okay? Because I still talk to Drake from time to time. He's a busy man. I totally understand it. But Drake,
I imagine.
Drake. Give the man an interview. That's all he's wanting. He's wanting an interview with you. So give the man an interview. There, the challenge has been laid. And that's the righteous challenge. That's the righteous challenge.
I love it, man. I'm going to start the righteous challenge on my hashtag page, man. I like it.
But no, in all seriousness, look, it was so aggravating for me to say to somebody, did you hear this week's show? Meaning the Carolina Independent Wrestling Report. What show?
Right.
The Carolina Independent Wrestling Report. Well, what's that? Okay, well, that tells you have no idea. And then when I would go back to the same shows, did you listen to my show? What show? Carolina Independent Wrestling Report. What's that? But what it all comes down to is this. I get that you like Chris Jericho. I get that you like JR. I get that you like Stone Cold Steve Austin. But just take a half of the energy that you put into that and give back to the independent community.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, guys, yes, absolutely. You're showing them that you want to give to them and so on and so forth, but all you're doing is paying their bills. And if you don't know, if you think about it, then you'll see that this right here is our life bread, guys. This right here, it gets you in touch with the world.
Yep.
So from the aggravation, and that's why I walked away from it, because there was nobody. I mean, outside of me saying to them at these shows and always getting turned down, I just got frustrated with it.
Right.
And so I said, okay. Plus I wasn't making any money, and I was doing, man, I'm telling you what, between the Ninja Troll, the Sons of Steel, and the CIW report, because the CIW report was always recorded. And I just I wanted the guys to sound professional. And so if somebody came on there and they give the I would go through it and I would take that out and I would make them sound fluid. And I gave that to them.
Right.
But
now see, if you're doing a recorded show, that's awesome. But I'm doing it live. So when you come on here, you need to have your ducks in a row when you come on here. And anybody who, is coming on my show should at least watch one of my shows. Then you're going to know basically what all the other shows are going to look like. Most of them have the same questions. Most of them, some of them we get off on tangents with things outside of wrestling, like this one, and it was fun. I'll never say it isn't fun, because that was fun. But everybody knows. But the thing that kills me in independent wrestling, and I'm learning it the hard way, because I thought, everybody helps everybody. No, they don't, and it's killing me. Is if you want somebody to come to your show, why aren't you out there promoting your posters of your show? If you're going to be in, even if you're not on the poster, who cares? Promote that show. More people are going to come see it. Why aren't you getting on a talk show like mine, who's asking you to do it for free? You're getting promoted out there for free. At any time, you can say, hey, if you go up to a promoter and they go, well, do you speak well? How good are you at wrestling? Can you do a promo? Hey, let me show you this #truth interview I did. Look, a whole hour of me being interviewed, and I'm answering the guys' questions left and right. I'm doing promos on here. You can see the whole 9 yards. It's all in one spot. That's why I do this.
Yeah.
And you might come on here, and I've had promoters, and I've had owners, and I've had people go, Scott, I like what you're doing, because if they can do something on the mic, we can teach them the wrestling skills. If they got just a little bit of charisma on the mic, man, I will go after them. I've had owners say, hey, can you hit up this wrestler and tell him to come to me? I don't mind that. That warms my heart. I'm like, oh, yes, he's getting another show. Sweet. More people to see him.
Yeah.
And I don't get anything out of it.
I do have to retract. I do have to retract something there. When I said that I wasn't getting paid, that wasn't completely true. The person that I reached out and got paid, they advertised on the show, and I have to thank Brian Kanabrowski from PWX. He took a chance with me, and I hope that I did him good. But yeah, man, it is the answer that we all seek are in podcasts like yours. And that's the reason that I say that, is because, well, number one, you get the human side of everything, and you get the ins and outs. Like you found out, hey, my wife, you met my wife tonight. I talked about my kids. That's day-to-day life that we have to deal with.
Right.
But guys, listen, you want to work on your interview skills, this is the way to do it. Now, granted, you got some people throwing some I don't want to say that they're dumb questions. They're just things that were thrown out here. But
the one thing about that, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but the one thing about that is not many podcasts out there involve the audience. A lot of these podcasts, they have the same screen as me. They have the same, get up as me, but all they do is talk to the wrestler, and they could care less about what's going on over here in the comments. Me, I want you to ask these wrestlers their questions. I don't care if it's the same questions. I don't care if you come in late and I have to ask the question 2 or 3 times. That's okay, because if you're a wrestler, you should be used to that, because every place you go, you're going to hear the same questions. It's just, it's the beast of the business. But you're reaching out to fans on here, and fans are mingling with you. And if you give the right fan the right answer, they're going to be your fan for the rest of their lives.
Yes. I totally agree. But Scott Larson, man, Darkness said it very good. I can't thank you enough for what you do, sir.
No,
I might not catch.
I don't do it for that, though. But I love that everybody likes my show. I thank you for thanking me. But my thank you would be, like you said, pass the word around. Get your friends on the show. Let's build up this thing called indie wrestling. Not just one
Yes.
promotion, not just two. Let's build them all together. The money, you could print money if we'd start working together.
Okay, so Scott, I got a question to ask you, and it just occurred to me, and I'm sorry if my attention span has derailed here, but I got a question for you, man. I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
If you could interview anybody, alive or dead, who would it be?
My very first answer immediately would be Bret the Hitman Hart.
Very good. Very good.
The reason I say that is because I named my son after him. I was such a fan of him that I named my son after him. So
Okay.
that would be the first person that would immediately come to mind.
Right. Very good. Very good. My interview's over. No, I'm just kidding.
My life's an open book, brother. I'm one of them people that you can ask me anything. If the wrestler wants to turn it on me and start asking me questions, hey, that's fine with me. I can do that too. You know,
Right.
if that's their personality, if that's their gimmick, hey, go ahead. And I'll tell you the best thing that I love in the world is eating. Yeah, I love eating too, dear. I love you. But the best thing in the world that I turn and she's like this.
Foreign object.
I can imagine what's going on behind this wall while I'm doing half these interviews, man, since I've had this wall. Because she now comes in here and lays down in the bed behind me here.
Yeah,
so I can imagine what's going through her head. She can't hear you guys, but she hears me because I got the headphones on. So, but oh man, I'm telling you, And I put time into this show. And that's the one thing that kills me is when somebody cancels on me and doesn't tell me ahead of time. I've had so many people cancel on me, and then 3-4 days after the fact, they'll come back to me and say, Scott, and give me an excuse. Okay? I don't mind you canceling. I understand life happens, but all it takes is a phone call or a message on. I don't care if it's 10 minutes before the show. I've got so many. I won't say so many, but I've got enough wrestlers that are interested in this that I could put somebody else in your place in a heartbeat. And that's not being mean. I'm just being truthful. I want to keep the show going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So be professional. If you're not professional to me, how are you acting with these promoters, these owners, and all these other people? That's the question that goes through my head. Now, if you have a good excuse, death in the family, sick. I mean, I had to cancel. I got sick. Nothing I could do about it. But I immediately put it up on Facebook, or I had my wife immediately put it up on Facebook. Hey, I'm sick. I'm going to be down and out for a couple of days. Can't make it.
Right.
You know, be professional. That's the one thing. But I love doing this, man. I spend on you alone, you know, knowing that you were coming out tonight, sick as a dog, everything. The last 2 days, I was looking up stuff on your Facebook page. I was looking up some of your friends' pages to, you know, see if I could find any, you know, you and them going back and forth about something, just anything. I didn't have to do that because everybody did it for me, man. They threw stories out there, and this show went out without a hitch. But if I don't know you, if I've never seen you wrestle, I can guarantee you I spend almost 8 hours on trying to find information about you, finding questions. Because if people don't come on and people don't ask questions, I try to make this show an hour long. We've gone an hour and 30 minutes without even thinking about it. Okay? Because the audience was all into it. I was into it. We were going back and forth. Stories were flowing. That's the way I want it to be. And I want every wrestler out there to get like this. And when promoters see that you're easy to talk to, that you're easy to teach, that you're easy to, you know, you're easy on the mic, man, they're going to reach out. And I don't need a pat on the back. I don't want money. I just want to grow what I love. So when I go to a show, you know, the best money I could get is, man, I interviewed that guy. He was awesome.
Dude, come on. Okay? I understand what you're saying, but it's also a very thankless job. And from those time to times when guys from inside the business say to you, "You're doing a great job and we appreciate it." Well, egos run wild in the locker room. Okay, so you just got to suck it up, Buttercup. Okay, suck it up.
Thank you. I do appreciate when people tell me they watch the show. I really do. And when I put on any of my things that I thank you for supporting my show, I really do, because this is what I've wanted to do for a long time. And
right.
With the help of a few people, and I'll name a couple of names. Joey Godfrey, the owner of EWF, he paid for one of my pieces of equipment so I could have my microphone back so I could do this show. Didn't charge me nothing. Said, "Scott, how much does it cost? Order it. I'll give you the money back." Just like that. Didn't want nothing in return. See, that's the thing. And I want to pass that on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, fine. All right. Hold on a second. Joey Godfrey, thank you. You're the man.
He is the man. He is the man. Him and Timmy Anton. If you go on my videos on my page and go back, I used to record these videos, and I used to review and preview EWF wrestling. And that's why I call them my home. I went there every week. I've been to other wrestling shows. I have people inviting me every day to other wrestling shows. I really want to go, but because of my health and all that, I can't drive. So I have to go where my wife takes me. Okay. Right. I know people get tired of hearing the story, but it's the truth. But if I could go to every wrestling show in my area, you better believe there's been times when I've been upset that my wife didn't feel good, or my wife was just tired from work. She didn't want to drive, but I really wanted to go to the show. Trust me, guys, I want to go to every show out there. If I could go to every show out there, I'd be there without a doubt. If I could drive, I'd be there. But unfortunately, God had other plans for me, and who am I to tell God what to do, right?
Right. Yeah, so, I agree. I understand. So,
right. But, man, as far as this show, anybody that wants to come on here, referee, wrestler, promoter, booker, anything, man, I'm not really trying to break down the fourth wall. I'm just trying to build everybody up. I've got people getting a hold of me now going, "Hey, I want to promote this show. Let's get together and talk." Sure, I'll do a promotion show. No problem. Come on, let's do it. You know, I don't mind doing that. I don't mind not doing the interview part. If you want to come on and, kind of do your character or whatever and promote a show, that's fine with me. But you got to make it last an hour. That's all I'm asking. Try to make it last an hour.
Now, with you saying that, would you interview somebody from concessions?
If they could come on here and talk about concessions for an hour, I'm a food guy. I can make it happen. I would do it. I would do it, brother. Are you kidding me? That would be a great show. Totally different. All about wrestling. What do wrestlers eat? What do fans eat? My God, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? That's good stuff.
Suckers got to do, baby.
Tell me what other podcast talks about concessions, man? I mean, I do it in a heartbeat.
That would be beautiful.
Dexter Myers says something. Let me see. Scott, hit up guys working in your area and see if there's an extra seat in their car that you can hop in. Never hurts to reach out and ask. I've had people actually say that to me too, that they'll come and pick me up. That I love that. I've never turned down a ride. If somebody can give me a ride, I've never turned that down. My wife will never turn that down. My wife. See, this is how funny my wife is. See, she instead of sex, she asks me if I want a cheeseburger. See that? She just throws it out there.
Oh, yes. Mayonnaise and chili, please. Mayonnaise and chili.
That's
Duke's
it.
Mayonnaise and chili.
That's it. See, but man, I'm glad that you come on here and other people in wrestling. I don't care what part of wrestling you are. I really don't. If you're involved in wrestling at all, come on. Let's have a good time. Let's talk. Let's build each other up. That's the big thing. And if you're a wrestler, give me something to invest in. Everybody can take a drink now because I know they've been waiting for me to say it. It's been an hour and 35 minutes. If you're a wrestler, work on your character. Work on, like he said, your mic skills. make yourself somebody that we want to come see at a wrestling show. If you're a cookie cutter guy who just puts on a wrestling gear and goes out there, we're not going to remember you the next day. But if you have some kind of character that we can invest in, then we will. I mean, 5-star. I love it. 5 different guys. All 5 of them have different characters. And you even said, this guy has something to do with chaos in this way. This guy has something to do with chaos in that way. That's what I want. That's what us as wrestling fans want. When we pay our money to come through the door, I will pay $50 to go to a wrestling show if I know there's characters there that I can invest in. Why do you think people go to WWE? It's not because of Vince McMahon's awesome writing. It's the characters, man.
Yes.
It's the guys that are investing in their characters. They're not going to see, Kofi Kingston fight, whoever he's fighting. They're going to see Kofi because he's throwing out pancakes, because he thought of something off the top of his head, and you want to catch a pancake. I mean, be real. I mean, that's just it. Give us something to invest in.
You did see where Kofi made an address telling people not to eat those pancakes, didn't you?
If they're stupid enough to eat the pancake, oh my God. Keep the listen, folks. If you catch a pancake at EWF, put it in a plastic bag, and the next time you see Kofi, have him sign one. That's what you do with the pancakes, bro. Don't eat the pancakes.
Yeah, get some of that frosting. Get some of that frosting he can write with.
Especially when he pulls them out of his sweaty tights, dude. You don't want to eat that pancake. Oh. Mr. I Am Righteous, you are awesome. You are invited back to Hashtag Truth anytime you ever want to come on the show, brother. It has been a blast from get-go, man. But it has been an hour and 37 minutes, and if I don't get off this, my wife's going to pull me off of it. She's got plans for me, I guess. I don't know what they are.
All right, so before we leave, I have to, since I've done all the niceties and stuff like that, all I have for you is 3 words. Shut up, Scott Larson.
You and Frank Roof both, brother. You and Frank Roof should be tag teaming. I don't know. Frank must be sick or something. I didn't see one thing from Frank tonight.
Very good.
He must have forgot to check Facebook tonight. He must think I'm still sick. But Frank, I love you. Can't wait to see you. I'll have another show tomorrow night. Who do I have on tomorrow night? Let me check my calendar here. Who do I have for the next few days? I have Sammy Love tomorrow night. I have a referee, JD Cormier, on Wednesday. Mabel Rose will be Thursday, and Neil Lee will be Friday. That's going to be some good stories on
Neil
Friday.
Nitro, yes, I love it.
Yeah, I'm going to have.
You got to have an interview. Listen. You need to have an interview with his cape. Now, I don't know if you know about that or not, but back in the day,
with his cape?
He tag teamed with Bryce Anthony as the East Coast Avengers, and he wore a cape. And if you don't believe how powerful this cape is,
I've seen some of the matches with them with them being tag teams. I've seen the cape. I will ask. All
I'm telling you,
it's on YouTube,
all I'm telling you is with that cape, Jamie Lee is a beast.
Jamie Lee is a beast.
Yeah, unstoppable.
There's a story there, brother. You know it. Are you going to tell it, or are you going to make me wait?
Well, yeah. I'll tell you. Okay, so basically, Bryce and Neil they tag teamed as the East Coast Avengers. They were tagging back when I was taking pictures for Carolina Independent Wrestling. And after a while, Neil, who is a superhero, I mean, he's a Batman fanatic. I mean, more so than me. And the only reason is he's got more merchandise than I got. But anyway, somebody had a cape made, and it was a blue bat cape. And he would wear that to the ring, and somehow, some way, his opponent would get that cape on, and they would start doing like choke slams. I've seen Jamie Lee choke slam man-child with that thing. Jamie Lee
turned around and man slammed and slammed his own partner man-child.
Yes. Well, look, it's Jamie Lee. It's Jamie Lee. With all due respect, you know.
He's a $125 soaking wet, right?
Squirrel. Yeah, but with the cape on, man, you can do anything.
You can do anything. Oh my gosh, I've got to go and look for some of those matches. I didn't see that in the match. The match that I watched wasn't like that, but I'm gonna have to watch for that.
Those are some really, really good matches. I had no part of those. I didn't manage in those, but those are classic.
Oh man,
and that's the shoot.
Now you've got to do what some of these other wrestlers are doing. When we get off of here, you need to send me some links on some of the wrestling matches you've been in, because I definitely want to see some of those matches. I know there's somewhere out there in the universe of .com.
Yes.
So definitely do that, brother, because I want something to do later on tonight when my wife gets done with the to-do list that I have tonight, the honey-do list. I want to sit down and watch you because, man, like I said, we dropped the 4 people and I don't care, but I'm having too much fun to tell you goodbye. I'm just gonna tell it like it is, man. Do you have any other stories you'd like to tell, man? Call out anybody.
Oh, well, I do want to take time to how do I do this without cussing? Ron Kennedy.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, that's Sneak Weasel, Ron Kennedy. Don't know where he's at. Haven't heard from him since the Crucial Conflict incident. But yeah, his name is still at the front of my Rolodex of people that
The Crucial Conflict incident. Okay.
Yes.
You know that question's coming. What is that?
Crucial Conflict Wrestling was supposed to be a big-time wrestling organization. A guy by the name of Ron Kennedy reached out to the wrestling world, reached out to me, told me that I could do some video work for him because I've done video work, and he liked my work, and I could do some video work for him, and I would be paid a salary just like he told everybody else. But at the end of the day, he was a con artist. We realized that something was up when we called the Asheville, whatever the name of the arena is in Asheville, where they used to do all of the NWA shows.
Right.
And the name wasn't booked. Well, that's when things started going awry. Yeah, didn't know who he was, didn't know who the organization was. Actually, they did know who the organization was. Somebody had called, talked to them, and they didn't get confirmation. Well, all these dates kept on rolling, and then finally money was exchanged on our ends because he talked us into, let's see, what is it? You get your investment back. He talked to us about that. And he took everybody for a ride.
Took money and left town.
He took money and left town. He, to be totally honest with you, if I can be uncensored, the son of a bitch owes me a lot of money.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's the snakes that people in wrestling need to take out back, tie them to a tree, pour honey over them, and let the ants do the rest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or the alligators, whichever one get to them first, depending on where you live.
A few people that I want to thank throughout this that have given me the opportunity to show my craft, to entertain people. First and foremost, Wicked. Wicked's a guy that took a chance with me, and I think that my Men of Mayhem was his top heels for the longest time. First time that I attended the Reimer Cup, the Mayhem Mafia took the trophy. We won it. I also want to say thank you to Josh Steinborn. Josh Steinborn's another guy. Josh Steinborn helped me out when I felt like, the wrestling world didn't care. He cared. I still think he is a great friend.
He's a genius, brother. I ain't gonna lie to you. Don't mean to interrupt you, but that man's a genius. If you want to know how to make money in the professional wrestling business, how to be the top dog in the professional wrestling business, wrestler on up, talk to that man, Brian. He knows every time he comes on my show, I just love listening to him talk, because he doesn't talk this crap. He talks facts. And
Right.
I learned something every time he comes on, man. And I too want to thank him, man, for just showing up on some of my shows. Thank you.
I want to say thank you to Tanya Vickers. Back to Steinborn. Next time you see him, give him one word for me, and that'd be shady.
Shady. What's up with that? There's a story there.
How often have you talked to Josh Steinborn?
Not many times. I talk to him every once in a while when I go out there to EWF.
Okay, well, if something's not on the up and up, and he will use it, he will use this word till the cows come home, is shady. Shady. So just give that back to him. Let's see.
I'll tell him.
I want to say thank you. I got to mention her name, Sharon Stretcher. She gave me the opportunity. Worked for her for a little while. Then I also want to say thank you to the people over in Kings Mountain, Pafo. I want to say thank you for that. And
big
well,
country.
You didn't
always...
used to say that, country. You loved me there for a little while. Dang. So anyway, I want to say thank you to her. And let's see.
Don't forget the
I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to BK Valor up there in Fines Creek. We got some good things happening up there, man. If you ever get a chance to travel to the mountains of North Carolina, do it in the fall. Scenery is beautiful, and you get some wrestling.
Don't forget to thank Miss Dragon Lady, or you're gonna get in a lot of trouble.
Oh, well. Thank you, honey. I love you.
That's the way to do it, right there. You just earned brownie points.
Well, actually, I got my kids to thank. I got Rachel, Chris. I got Gavin, Michaela. Also, just cause I wanna put her over in this interview. My granddaughter Gotham. Love you, baby.
Oh, no problem, man. All right, guys. Well, we're going to call it a night, man. I am righteous. Like I said, you are invited to Hashtag Truth anytime you want to come back, man. You just let me know. We'll hook something up. One of these days, I want to get all of 5-Star on here together. You and all 5 members. I can do up to 6 people on one screen. I would love to get all of you on one screen. Let's work on that between now and whenever we can get it done, man. I'd love to get that done. Get every one of you on here. Let's make it a big 5-star celebration, brother.
Absolutely. Yes, we will.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for showing up to Hashtag Truth. Like I said, tomorrow night I will have Sammy Love coming on here.
One thing before I leave, I want to remind everybody.
Do this all night. We're never going to leave, folks.
Hudson High School, August 20th. ACE, you want to be there.
ACE, wrestling, gaming, and music. Got to put it all up there, brother.
Yes.
Because they're going to have it all there. They're going to have video games. They're going to have a rock band. And, of course, the most important, good old wrestling, man. And check out the posters. I'm going to put some up on my page when I get out of here. AWC is going to be having one. EWF's having one coming up. All kinds of posters.
ACCW's coming up tomorrow night. You see some 5-Star there.
There you go. That's it. I mean, promote, folks. Even if you ain't at the show, promote somebody's poster, man. Make them feel good because they're going to promote you if you promote them. That's what we need to do. Let's bring this all out there together, man.
Tell them Scott Larson support indie wrestling.
That's it. That's all you can do. Support. Get out there. Watch your indie wrestling. Make fans. Buy their merchandise. Pay their kids through college, man. That's all they're asking.
Oh, yeah.
All right, brother. Oh, yeah. We will see you later. Loved you. Can't wait to talk to you again, bro. Anytime. We're going to call it a night. Hashtag Truth. We'll see you tomorrow night, guys.